Also, code for Twitch client and Twitch API. It's not being used in my package, but if you want to use this code, feel free to do so. One important thing to note, if you use the Twitch client, make sure to change the channel name here to your own channel, as well as change the channel name for your bot to your bot's channel name. Otherwise, it won't work. And you can look at the documentation on the client and API to see if to see how it works and if you need it for any projects of yours. What the redeems work with is just the Twitch pub sub, as well as these two scripts I wrote for the avatar interaction. You'll notice I also have a debug queue here. If you turn on debug queue, it'll ask you to import TMP essentials. Click on that so you import the fonts that are needed. Unfortunately, it's kind of broken. Yeah, it's not working properly in the current moment. I don't know why exactly. I stopped using it, but the basic framework should be there. So if you want to use that and write some code to debug, feel free to. But anyway, I'll walk through the code that is working. All right, so the pub sub is where we're taking our bot. You can find information on the rest of the code in the TwitchLib documentation on GitHub, but basically we're taking our bot and putting that in our channel, listening to follows and redeems in the channel. So if you want to do anything with follows, you can do that too. So here, so when a reward is redeemed, we call this function. And then as you see here, if it's the head pat reward, we'll queue up item 1. And if it's balloon head redeem, we'll queue up item 2. So if you want to add your own redeem here, just copy this code. My debug is broken, so you don't actually need this code. And just name that 3 so that each one has a unique number ID. So let's say we have a redeem that's just called Oreo, like, because cookies, you know, cookies are good. All right, so now if I go to my interaction queue, what this is just a queue of ints. So it's like a list of ints. And it's initializing a queue, and basically we're calling in queue, so we're adding something to the queue. So back to the pub sub, when a reward is redeemed, we enqueue item based on its number tag. So we're doing that here. And Avatar Interaction Manager, we're taking this queue here and then saying if it's 1, we'll call the appropriate event. So here you're going to need events that correspond with each redeem you want. So we're gonna have to add another event here. Let's call it on Oreo. Okay. So this is where the timer comes into play. Honestly, I don't know if I set up the timer properly. So someone can scold me if I didn't do it right. But I will be working on this more in the future. So, yeah, if we have one item in the queue, basically called appropriate event, if there's more than one thing waiting in the queue, we're gonna trigger the timer. So we're gonna see what the number is. in the queue the next number in the queue is and set that for the next thing, but then you trigger the timer. And then when the timer's over, you trigger the appropriate event. So that way things won't overload. Okay, so here, if it's the one tag, the corresponding tag, we invoke the headpat event, which we can edit in the editor to make something happen in the editor. If it's two, we do the balloon head. And because we just added another one, we're gonna do on Oreo and change this to the corresponding tag as well. So now if I go back to my Unity editor and click on Twitch integration, we have on Oreo. So now if I have a redeem, let's say we had a redeem, I don't have one, but called Oreo. If I clicked Oreo, it will trigger this event. And then I can add something that will happen like we did with the other ones. And that's how it works. Yeah. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you around, and have a great one.